What up, peeps? Mr.Bones back at you, and happy HALLOWICKED. Happy Halloween, Samhain, and everything in between. It's that time of year, once again, where us horror fiends kick it up a notch. And well, I'm doing things up a little different here this year. Old Bones is getting, well, a little old, and it's a little strenuous to do 31 videos every day. So I thought up this little idea where I'm going to do weekly caps of what I watched at the end of each week. And we're doing a code name here like HALLOWICKED, but it's HULUWICKED. I'm sticking to Hulu, watching things on there. HALLOWICKED, HULUWICKED. Just an idea I had, something different. But yeah, let's get started. 2023's No One Will Save You. Written and directed by Brian Duffield. Starring Caitlin Dever as Bryn. An exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien that finds its way into her home. As you see in the trailer, this movie starts off like a home invasion movie. It's Bryn living alone at home after losing everybody. She used to live with her mother, who her and her mother used to bond by making little models of the town hall and the stores and stuff. Her mother had passed away. Nobody in town likes her because of something that happened in her past that involved her childhood best friend. Well, she does her usual routine throughout the day. She goes to bed and she's woke up by sounds of someone breaking and entering into her home. She's at the top of the stairs. The door's wide open. Someone's rummaging through the kitchen, and it looks like a home invasion. And then it turns out to be an alien. It chases her to the top of the stairs. She slams the door and jumps under her bed. It gets in there. It's creepy looking. It has like hands for feet. I haven't seen a creepy alien in a movie as creepy as this one since M. Night's Signs. And so it's chasing her all through the house, like using supernatural power, slamming her against the walls and stuff. She manages to slam a statue of some sort into its head and kills it. And she runs into town where everybody hates her. No one wants to talk to her. And eventually you notice that the townspeople are acting weird. It's because the aliens have taken over all of their bodies. And you see like a squiggly worm type stuff in their neck. And so the movie kind of reminds me of a mix of Invasion of Body Snatchers and The Faculty. And the movie was good, interesting, and suspenseful, but has a really weird ending that didn't make a lot of sense. And I wanted to like this movie because it's made by a director of one of my other favorite movies, Spontaneous. But the end is pretty odd. And that's all I'll say about this, since it's a brand new movie and it's on Hulu if you want to check it out, and so not to spoil it. 2022's Slashback, directed by Nyla Innuksuk, written by Nyla Innuksuk and Ryan Kevin, starring Tatiana Shirley as Micah, Nalajas Ellsworth as Yuki, Alexis Wolf as Jesse, Nikita Burke as Alashua. A group of ragtag friends led by 12-year-old Micah discovers an alien invasion in their tiny Arctic town, and it's up to them to save the day. Yeah, so you meet these 12-year-old girls, group of friends, led by Micah. There's Micah, Yuki, Lena. They go hiking up in the hills when they see a polar bear acting strange. They're looking at it through the scope of their gun, and then it comes running at them like something out of a Japanese horror film. Its legs are all bent all weird, and it doesn't have control of its bodily functions like the victims in the movie Splinter. They shoot the bear, kill it. As they walk away, they miss out seeing an alien worm crawl out of its eyeball, where there is an alien invasion and aliens are taking over all the animals up on the mountains. They go home, and then Yuki takes it upon herself to go back by herself and investigate and see like polar bear and a moose and deers and a rabid fox and this big old rock with a bunch of alien worms sticking out of it, and runs back to tell the townspeople, and the aliens follow them. For some reason the aliens look like they're wearing leather face masks when they take over human bodies, as if supposedly like the human bodies can't contain the alien, so their face starts melting off or something. When you manage to hit them in the face, worms fall out of their face. It's sort of a cheesy but fun little movie. 2021's Werewolves Within. Directed by Josh Rubin and written by Mishna Wolf. Starring Sam Richardson as Finn Wheeler and Milana Vayntrub as Cecily Moore. Feature adaptation of the video game where werewolves attack a small town. This comes on and you meet Finn Wheeler, who is relocating to this new little town to be the park ranger of this little town. You meet the townspeople, the post woman, Cecily Moore, and all the different goofy characters of the town. And this is just a fun little whodunit. Couple people come up dead, someone's little dog gets eaten, someone suggests there's a werewolf in their town, so then they're all in the main lodge area blaming each other and trying to guess who it is. Eventually a werewolf does get unveiled, and it's who you least expect. Like I said, it's a fun whodunit and reveal. It was a fun watch. I'd recommend checking this one out. 2011's Attack the Block. Directed and written by Joe Cornish. Starring John Boyega from the newer Star Wars movies as Moses, Jodie Whittaker as Sam, Alex Esmail as Pest, and Nick Frost as Ron. A teen gang in South London defend their block from an alien invasion. The movie starts off with John Boyega's character Moses and his group of asshole friends who think they're a gang, holding up this young woman for her money and her ring. She runs off. Then they all end up back together at the same apartment building, fighting together to defend themselves against these hairy orangutan rat-looking aliens with day-glow bright green teeth. It's a suspenseful, fun, fight for survival movie. I highly enjoy it, and I would recommend this movie. 2022's American Carnage. Directed by Diego Halevas. Written by Diego Halevas and Julio Halevas. Starring Jenna Ortega as Camilla, George Lindbergh Jr. as JP, Hugh Marie Morales as Lily, and Brett Cullen as the governor, Harper Finn. After a governor issues an executive order to arrest the children of undocumented immigrants, they are sent to this holding facility till they decide what they want to do with them, and they send them off to this fancy old folks home to volunteer to take care of these elderly people. But they quickly realize something's going on here and something's not right. So when the movie comes on, you meet JP and Lily, their brother and sister, and the sister Lily had just got accepted into college. She's trying to make something of herself. They're excited, and they're having a celebration, a congratulations party, and that's when the cops, ICE, break in and snatch them out of their home, take them to this like little concentration camp or whatever you call it, and then ship them off to this old folks home. Well, his brother and sister were separated for a while, and then he is put in charge of taking care of this old woman, who eventually he finds out is his sister because he sees her butterfly tattoo behind her ear. They are taking young people in, doing something to them to suck their youth out and make the adults that work there live forever, which makes the young people age really fast. It's a very interesting movie, and I would highly recommend checking this one out if you haven't seen it. 2019's Radio Flash. Directed by Ben McPherson and written by Ben McPherson and Matt Redhawk. Starring Brighton Charbino as Reese, Dominic Monaghan as Chris, and Will Patton as Frank. So the movie comes on with an interesting scene where you think this girl is like in some kind of Saw movie, or maybe she's in an escape room or something. It's pretty weird. She's like in a room with multiple phones on the wall and trying to figure out some kind of passcode, and then all of a sudden The room fills up with water and it looks like she's going to drown. Then she figures out how to get out, and then it comes to reality. She takes off these VR glasses. She was at some kind of gaming place, and yeah, just kind of to show us that everybody is very dependent on technology and gaming and phones and laptops. And then she goes home and you meet her father, played by Dominic Monaghan from Lord of the Rings. They're sitting and talking, and all of a sudden their power goes out, and it goes out all across the world, where EMP had hit and knocked out the electric all across the world. And she's very smart, so she uses a car battery and cables to hook up a CB radio and contact her grandfather, who lives miles up in the mountains and knows how to live off the land. And her grandfather tells her what's going on and says, you need to get your stuff together and get to me as fast as you can. You will be fine up here with me. So her and her father pack up stuff, get in the car, and head toward their grandfather's, and run into lots of obstacles on the way. Eventually along the way they get into a car crash. The father gets hurt, he gets an infection, and passes away. So Reese is on her own. She runs up the hill to a farmer's house to get help for her father, and the farmer comes and gets him on a gator and takes him back to his house, but the father does pass away. Then the farmer has her on the road in his truck trying to help find her grandfather, and someone flags him down, which he should have known better than to stop. And he tells Reese to get in the back of the camper so the hitchhiker doesn't see her. The hitchhiker then kills the farmer, steals the truck, then goes to some backwoods, redneck, hillbilly land that looks like the home of Leatherface or the Hilliker brothers from Wrong Turn, to steal gas, and gets his gut blown out by this backwoods dude named Bill, who then takes the girl to meet Ma. It's a backwoods family of three: Ma, Bill, and Quinn, which you could tell right away that Quinn doesn't belong to the guy. Me and my wife knew right off the bat that they had kidnapped and kept that boy just like they was trying to do her. They keep trying to force her to stay there. Every time she would run, they'd retrieve her and bring her back. But eventually, when the man is asleep, Quinn comes and lets her out of this little shack and helps her escape. They make her run for it. And the hillbilly is chasing them and tracking them down the river and everything, and eventually Grandpa shows up and saves them. 2015's Intruders. Directed by Adam Snyder and written by T.J. Simful. Starring Beth Reese-Graff as Anna and Rory Culkin as Dan and Martin Starr as Perry Kuttner. In this movie you meet Beth, who is taking care of her sick brother that is dying of cancer. And you meet Dan, played by Rory Culkin, who is working for like a Meals on Wheels type of company that deliver meals to sick people. He had gotten to know Anna and they have become close friends from delivering food to her for the past year. And her brother passes away, and the next thing you know, 4 guys show up to rob her house. And they just thought and assumed she would be at her brother's funeral, but she hadn't been out of the house for the past 10 years, and she suffers from agoraphobia, so she is there. They catch her in the house, start chasing her. She makes it to the door and just dead stops and doesn't go out the door. And they're just standing there looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? And they keep questioning her and find out that she hadn't left the house for 10 years. She suffers from agoraphobia. So they sit her on the couch, keep questioning her. Martin Starr's character is a complete asshole and keep bullying her and shit. She eventually gets loose and the tables are turned. It turns out that her house is booby-trapped in like a fucking house out of Saw or something. They keep trying to chase her and harm her. But eventually, she kills one of them and drags them down in the basement, and when 2 of the others go down to check on him, she pulls this lever that's hidden inside of a little cuckoo clock or something that makes the stairs draw inwards into the wall and trap them down there. And she has like a little secret control room where she can watch them and talk to them on a speaker. And this movie was a nice little blind find on Hulu. It was lots of fun, and I would recommend checking it out. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week to see what I watch for week 2. Peace.